Jennifer, can I ask you to start and to talk about your experience as a mentor? I mean, even if you want to talk about, did you have a mentor when you were starting?
Oh yes, I definitely had a mentor. His name was Tom Skelton, and he was wonderful in that he pushed me into situations that seemed to be quite difficult, but he knew that I could do them. And so I never failed in the beginning, and it was fantastic. And I really, through him, came to adore lighting, and also to this day I adore it. In lighting design, in lighting, what you're looking for is a good eye. And it's so very, very difficult to tell that when you're speaking to somebody. So my biggest quandary in choosing a protege, and Rolex does a wonderful job of finding several people and then allowing you to choose one among the several. And I couldn't decide what to do to judge the eye of the people. There were 4 of them. And I finally hit on going to see a play together and then speaking to each one individually about many things, of course, but also about their experience of the light in the play. And it was very interesting to me because Rolex also did a wonderful, gave me wonderful material on each of these people before I met them and interviewed them. And I thought at the time that Sebastian would never be the one from the material that Rolex sent to me. And then after talking to him about the play and his experience of the light in the play, I knew that he, among the 4, was the only artist. And so, of course, I wanted to work with him. And we've been together for a year now. I've just gotten back from Houston, where we had our last in-theater experience together. And so that was a bit sad. But we started, the first event that we had together was indeed Testament of Mary at the Barbican in London, which was a great experience because Deborah Warner, the director, is very involved in the light and makes a lot of demands and is therefore always pushing and sitting right there with me at the table. And the other things that I did over the year were not so director involved, shall I say. I went to Paris to recreate the light for Dances of the Gathering, a Jerome Robbins dance. And of course, Jerome Robbins is no longer with us. I also lit at Brooklyn Academy of Music the piano etudes, the full etudes of Philip Glass. Very unusually, I am beginning to light concerts like that. As a matter of fact, in Houston, I lit Messiaen's Visions of Amen. That is 2 pianos. Sarah Rothenberg is a pianist that I have worked with quite a bit. And so Sebastian was able to see 2 things, 2 concerts with light. And then there was La Traviata in Madrid, where there were 3 casts. And so I was there for 3.5 weeks, and we did La Traviata over and over and over again. There were 3 days when we did it twice in the day. I love La Traviata, and the singers were terrific, all 3 casts, so it was great, and it was a great experience for Sebastian to see that. Sir David McVicker, the director, was not there. It was being recreated by another assistant director. So there was not the great interplay between a director and a lighting designer that usually happens when the creation is new. Anyway, so it was dance and concert and opera and theater. It was a fantastic experience. And I too went to Mexico City to see Sebastian's work and learned a great deal about him and from him in that experience. So it's been a rich, full year, exciting for both of us. I have come to be extremely fond of this sweet, wonderful artist that I now have as a friend. And he is thinking carefully about what he's going to be doing with his life. It may well be that he does not, that he moves away from theater and into light as art. And it was good for him to end in Houston. There are quite a number of Terrell installations in Houston, all of which he saw, so he went home with a lot to think about.
Jennifer, when I worked with you, it was very hard at the end not to feel that for all of us, that we'd learned quite a bit from you. I didn't learn anything about lighting from you, because you were working so quietly and effectively, and that wasn't the issue. The issue was that since this was collaboration, I think one of the things a mentor has to do in the theatre is to teach somebody or show somebody how to be quiet, how to stay in the shadows listening, while everybody else is having a lot to say. So in other words, was the experience for him one where he watched you actually, let's say, casting your very calm light on a rehearsal space? Was that part of the deal?
Yes, absolutely part of the deal. And in the beginning, he was very nervous. In lighting, there is always, usually, an assistant. Always, usually, yes. Most of the time, there is an assistant. But I made it clear to him in the beginning that he should do nothing, because he should be looking at the stage and not looking at paperwork or the computer screen or anything like that. And it made him quite nervous to be doing nothing, because rarely does one do nothing in the theater. And but by the end, I think that he, of course, also at the end, he was saying, "Oh, I didn't pay enough attention. I didn't learn enough," and as one does when it's over. But I think he learned a great deal from being quiet.